Hello, hello, Steph here, your Inkblot Oracle. Welcome. Come on in for this message from your spirit guide. Take a look. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Timestamps below which one is standing out, and we're going to see what shapes and symbols speak, adding some tarot and oracle cards as well, of course, to see what your spirit message is today. Thank you for sharing, and subscribing, of course. For a closer look, number 1, a number 2, and number 3. And however you decide to choose, you can comment below if you went with a 3-1 or a 2-1-3, whichever order. You can always revisit. I'll see your choice chosen. So much love. All right, number 1. How are you doing? If you want to take that in one more time, you're welcome to take a screenshot, personal use only. And we'll add in the shaman's palm in the caves. Oh, the sun's starting to come out. It's chilly here in Canada today. All right. Birds of a feather flock together. Rise up, rise up. That's coming through. And there's this starfish that's almost, how the shedding of skin in the snake. Now imagine a starfish, a star shedding its skin and becoming more of itself by releasing part of itself. Does that make sense? Becoming more by releasing, and it feels like I'm right here in this cavern between the two, and noting that they don't actually connect, because I think this is already happening. Peeling back layers, releasing, but becoming whatever more might mean to you, even if it's a shift of forms. There's something about the sea. Now, whether that's water for you, a lake at nighttime that might represent fear, the sky, whether it is of day or night, it's the reflection of water and sky in some way, shape, or form. But there seems to be this awareness and knowingness of I'm seeing a sundial, what time of the day. It's kind of like watching a scary movie during the daytime is very different than watching, or at least for me anyway, watching a scary movie at nighttime. Yeah, something about that. Rise up is coming back in again. And I almost feel weightless when I'm saying that. You can feel your essence rising up. This could also be out of body experiences, astral traveling, if those are focuses. If I may, I'm going to wander into the subconscious sleep state anyway. And I feel like I'm moving through, and I don't know them verbatim, but just as they're stepping forward, alpha, beta, theta, delta. I think I'm in, or you're closest to delta, theta, or maybe there's a bridge between the two of them. And the way your subconscious, if that seeps through from a psychological space, but I want to step into the supernatural space here, that I can't help but, I'm like, there's a relationship between the delta and the theta as the example. There's a relationship maybe between the self and the supernatural self, whatever this is. But it's like this river. And it's like this, whether it's breath work that is your channel to cultivate maybe bravery, willingness, that sundial's coming back in of there's maybe a certain time of the day, sunrise, sunset. I don't know what it is. It's not for me to pinpoint, because when I wander out into all the versions that are personalized, it feels very freeing it's not a seek and find, but it's not a hide and seek. Like this moment or these perfect conditions are hidden from you. This is the journey, like your understanding, or at least if I'm going to take a moment to reiterate to you from spirit, your spirit guide, your spirit team, you have the understanding that the adventures and experiences that you have in seeking what is hidden, maybe it's this time of the day or this kind of alchemy, or is it breath work? Is it this? Is it that? I don't know. It's even sleep, whatever the case is, you have the understanding that the soul space of finding those things is the magic. And yes, it's near liminal. Thank you. It's among liminality. But it's almost like in this space, you travel liminality leisurely. And if it's been stressful, I feel like leisure living in this liminality is starting to really come into play. Like, it's not about, at least in this context, personal, professional, corporate, creative, romantic, platonic. In this space that feels like supernatural sleep, it's not about the hide and seek, but you appreciate it, and you'll be excited when you find or seek the thing that was once hidden, but you're also the one who hid it. Because the experience, like when a child is playing hide and go seek with an adult or a sister or an auntie or a friend, the joy, what you learn in those moments, I don't know, you have an understanding about something that feels thresholdy, liminal, and it's between states that lead you to a state, and you might be enhancing your palette of that, or really fine tuning one specific focus. You're like, if like dream alchemy is your thing right now. Sorry, my nose is getting itchy. Follow that. Oh, this feels adventurously fun. I am seeing a diamond, so it's kind of like that diamond in a rough feel, but it's not a needle in a haystack. You're really curious, and this message is curious because it has this air of the words fit, but they don't. And again, it's kind of like going between the self and the supernatural self. They fit and superimpose, but they each have, like, these parts of you have their own aura. So one might be glowing white, but one's hovering in blue. Oh, it's delicious. And I feel like the spirit guide message wants to affirm this for you. Maybe release stress in your aim to be proficient at something, because the proficiency is in the play. And you know this from a universal space and the universe at night to boot. It's one thing to do and dance with all of this in the day, not poo-pooing it. It has its place. Very little can actually hide. You're doing this at nighttime. Like, this is your sleep state is powerful right now. Cave of Ice, powerful right now. What comes out? Power. And you know me, I'm going to always read art first, but take in the word, take in the artistry. It's like this nighttime castle. Oh, the lands. Oh, okay. Sorry. I just had, like, do you know what was fun? I don't know why I feel the need to express what happens in anyway, but it's fun. We're here for a good time. I just had like a flashback. Are you having flashbacks? Flashback to a time of flashbacks, but like future flash. So is it being flashback to you from the future to this moment of now? That's how that felt. In that cave of ice, You have found something. There's a place, I'm going to say, in my symbolic story, the way I'm sensing it, when I'm falling asleep, or the self to supernatural self. Now, however you interact with those two, the magic and the mundane, the mystic and the material knower, whatever the case is, apply all the fun words. You have a place, a point of reference that I'm hearing time and time again. This is a trusted code that you have with creation. It's like when they say in meditation, envision the bridge. And you have cultivated this bridge to be very, very strong. And if you're like, no way, that's being done every time you do this. And you also might have a sleeping power. Does that make sense? It does. I think I can do better. Can we get closer? It's almost like the supernatural or an aspect of the supernatural self has been sleeping. And you know, when I don't really know how to use it properly, the term, but it's like when someone's a sleeper and it's like one day they wake up. And I'm not talking about the woke stuff out in the world or, trying to wake up the world. This is very personal to you. This is personal power. This is personal to you. It wanders into the paranormal because I think that there's something that you have or do or an inherent ability. It's like you're going to look back like that flashback. And if you are putting pressure on yourself, you're going to smile and you're going to be able to say, if I knew then what I know now. And you're not even going to beat up on your past self, even in like your mind or in mindscape. You're going to be like, this is what I would tell myself then. I'd be like, you know what? Insert your wisdoms. Insert your wisdoms. Love it. I'm going to turn it sideways because that's what's being called. So, and we listen. Something about Milli Vanilli. Maybe a little bit of imposter syndrome. But even like that evolution of like lip syncing, and nowadays a lot of people, it's just very different. I feel like, just as a general example, not as a be all end all, like people were very hard and disheartened on Milli Vanilli. And if I recall the history, at least in my timeline, they're like lip syncers and there's somebody else really singing. And there might be an air of imposter syndrome, but there could also be presenting a version of ourselves that maybe we don't see within ourselves yet. So we'll place a person, place, or thing or idea to be the representative of that. And while we were or what I remember being very harsh, like, oh my goodness, that's not really them. I think you're also to some degree or another superstitious because this has happened to you before. People are not what they appear, or I don't want to say things are too good to be true because that feels, they're there, but again, you have your points of reference, things to check in, how you check in, to really find out how you feel so that you can be aware of if it's a insecurity. And so something's being presented, but it's a whole play that's being put on for you to enjoy for entertainment purposes only. And you're like, okay, then I can be entertained. And then in other cases, you might have had situations where this is why this part of you might be sleeping because it's like, oh, when it rises, it tends to attract da da da. But again, trust who you are and what you've done over lifetimes. If you want and must to reiterate to yourself the strengths that you have accumulated to signal, like to get those signals from spirit. I hope this makes sense. Anyway, poor Milli Vanilli. Blame it on the rain. Yeah, yeah. All right. Maybe There we go, portal. I just need you to, yeah, because there's sharks in there. So it's almost like being superstitious of sharks. I'm also seeing lips. Might be something about lipstick. Giving kisses, speaking, singing. You might, spirits sing around you. And it's funny because it almost has this feeling like seeing the shark here, but the shark is a balloon. So it's like taking this thing that's quite easy to pop, but it has the essence of I'm a shark, but you're a balloon. So it's not so scary. Or being on the water and having fun floaties in the pool floaties, right? Anyway, so the point is that this is all very water, and then this is air over here. There's an air dragon. You also have, if this message is for one, thank you for holding space, an older gentleman. And there's something about his sideburns. And I think he's got a bit of a mustache. And he has like gray, white hair. So he is an older gent. And the best that I can see anyway. And I almost kind of want to say like you're his peanut or something like that. And something about, excuse me, dream characters. In the cave of winds of the mind is chaos 32. This is more power. Some might be into chaos magic if that's how you resonate or land into. It could be a thing. It's also part and parcel of that superstitious feel. Sus. I feel like I'm using words far outside of my, I don't know, age, but it is what it is. Yeah. But you can smell and suss things out in and of yourself, even in first and foremost in your own mindscape. Because it's like if you know thyself, anyone or anything else that would insert itself as a dream character or in your life in the material realm or magically speaking has no power over you. And that's why this feels like a personal focus. Amazing. Amazing. And if sometimes the mind thoughts, if the thoughts come from mind, but for simplicity's sake, let's plop them in there for a second. Thank you. Into the ethers of the sky of self and the sea and the waters of our being. It's the weather, the space in between the cavern of your consciousness. This is the liminality. I'm seeing a flower grow, but you know, like when people time lapse, that's what it is, time lapse photos. So what might have been a year, months, and then they time lapse it so that you get to see it in a short or in a video very quickly. Time lapse. Lots of stuff about flashbacks and flash forwards and interesting. Well, it's because that's exactly what we're doing in the Cave of Hearthfires is navigate, card 40. A little bit foggy. You've already docked somewhere. So this sense of self, supernatural, there's certain tools you've been able to put down. Something about docking in, docking station, docking in. I think there's also a favorite dimension. Yeah. I'm also seeing the Bermuda Triangle. Oh my goodness. There's so much going on here. I'm seeing the lobster from The Little Mermaid. what's his name? You know his name. What's his name? In the Cave of Rivers is elegance and authority. Look at that. You can dance your way right into your throne. And sometimes you come off your throne so you can dance. Footloose. The movie Footloose. Again, that moon. This is all very subcon, supernatural, and how they get up and dance, talk, communicate. I also want to note there's some air of emotional, does it say authority? Yeah, emotional authority, but like an emotional elegance. Thank you. That's why that, and it's an emotional elegance to not be stuffy. Somebody might have a stuffed animal that is like your security thing, item, good, yes, it knows, you know. But in the world of the science of being spiritual, you're not stuffy about it. You really free the emotional state. And if this is a message to remind you of that as well, you know, because there could be a lot of just in general, not as a judgment, but just as in general, stuffiness. And it can make a room hot and icky, almost like a weird kind of suffering to, and I'm not talking about shying away from testing oneself or challenging oneself or staying in comfort. It's about expanding the comfort zone. Does it have to be through sufferings though? And this just feels like something external to me in this moment, if I may ponder. If I was in that stuffy room, it's like, well, if it really means something to you, you'll stick it out. But the way it's said, again, this is where you can suss things out. The way things are said, the underlying currents. But I think there's a part of you, thank you, that's hidden here as well. If I can revisit this for a moment, you may not even know. And I don't know what I mean when I say that you don't know, but I don't even know. But somehow there's a knowing that you're kind of like, I'll use the term royalty. And when you descended here, or when you wander these liminal hallways, kind of like a hall monitor even, you're like a professor. You are the, what is that I'm seeing? The person like of a school, not the principal. Oh, linear words, can you come closer sometimes? The dean or deaness, something like that. So it's almost like when you cross dimensions, having all of these experiences at once. And let's just say, I'm not saying here and now, but as the example and being present, you might be like, well, I just kind of feel like I'm just going with the flow, or I'm learning, I'm always the student, or just whatever the case is. And I'm not poo-pooing any of those things, because the master dean that you are in another realm, or mystery school in the mystic spaces, call it what you will, it doesn't have to be so magical. This is just the best words I can use. So when you interact with the multidimensional multiverse of dimensions that exist, because you are not closed-minded. And so we do our best, but it's because of that authority that you are, that you will also emotionally wander over here to be the student and know that it's like doing two things at once, but then they're in different densities, so they don't exhaust each other, they complement each other. Yeah. That's exactly what this is like. I'm sure I didn't say it. I said it great. I feel like I've said that perfectly well. Somebody's carrying a boulder in their belly. What does this mean? Somebody might be pregnant, birthing something that's currently in the unknown. There's also work being done on a planet that you are a part of. Ants might mean something to you, or aunties in spirit, or the symbol of an ant and what it would symbolically represent. There's also, are they, so they're singing. You know, like in cartoons when a steam whistle would sing and it's like, it'd be like, what? That's what I'm seeing, a steam whistle singing. Emotional intelligence and elegance is quite important here. Yes, regulating is a word I want to use. Cave of Earth, deliverance and honesty. So it's interesting. On my other channel, my OG channel, I just did a life path number 1. We're starting the life path numbers, angel numbers, however, numerology anyway. And it's interesting because this is coming through where it's like the psychology is the cage and the energy or the psychicness of it is the mirror of reflection. And in the cave here of earth, this is you being able to blend the two. It's the merge master through the liminality that is, knows it is of both. Yeah, I just heard you. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And you know what? I'll say it as it just came through. Prometheus, no, 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 lead me. You are have a connection to, yes, creator, creation, but this feels like in regards to this makeup of realm dimension, you have or are a part of like the team that sets it up, because it kind of feels like it's like an earth school all of a sudden. That was a curious like offshoot there. 16, cherish the small things. And I think you do. You know that there's power in small things. An insect can infect or irritate. A firefly can illume. Like, there's just so much that you know about and utilize these. It's like you can hear this thing small and tall. You can appreciate their way of communication and they tell things. They tell. It's like when the birds go quiet and you pick up on those things. Abracadabra. Yeah. Do you notice here? I want to say like that in this balloon is is like this thing. This is where you go to. Maybe this is why it's like string theory. You can, again, I want to come into, you know, when things have strings attached, but those strings aren't inherently built in as bad or good because you understand how, and I'm not saying maybe you can verbalize it or write it in a book. That's not what I'm talking about. And amazing if you can and do, but also amazing if you just know and that's enough for you as you're going through the McDonald's drive-through. It's like one of those things when somebody is really wealthy and powerful, an authority of their own awareness, and apply all the riches you can think of. And then say they go to a restaurant and then they're a douche to the server or are just ignorant and step on the small things, the bugs, and they're like, you know exactly what's going on. This is an imposter. Milli Vanilli, but in the bad way. Like you're you're you faked us out. Again, Milli Vanilli. I totally get it. But you know what I mean? You can suss out when you're like, oh, so you're not wealthy in awareness, mind, or whatever. It's just strictly in one area. I could say ego, but I also don't want to poo-poo ego. I will say exactly thank you. It's overinflated. When something is overinflated, it tells you a lot. And I don't feel like you necessarily go to the magnetism of, oh, that means the judgment is good or bad, because you do need to judge things, and you absolutely do. That's your responsibility to make judgments for yourself, less applying them to others. But when it's something's overinflated, you're like, it's just information. I said it. I said what I said. Tell a new story is coming through. 22 in the cave of hearth fires with navigate. Like I said, the map's down, the compass is down. I think you're getting ready for a new adventure. There's something that was sleeping to awaken, a dimension to reveal itself to you. You might have been part of accessing it. You could be part of a program that in this paranormal supernatural space you're unaware of, or your starseed family, as we call it here, whatever the case is. Could be also, yes. Okay. Jack and the Beanstalk, magic beans. Unfurl the wings of forgiveness. You're very good at sharing. You also might hold sharing circles, healing circles, or sharing circles that inevitably heal, but you understand as holding space as the healer. You're not healing, but you're holding the space to inspire the spark within others that they can heal themselves. It's support though. And I also want to know, just on a side note here, that if you want support and space held to share, you can also step in, and it is quite nourishing for you. It's also perspective inducing because you meet a lot of different informational kind of energies, and it eventually, I will say eventually, depending on where you astrally follow the waves of alpha, delta, whatnots, the seaweeds, the benefits of seaweeds. I don't know why this is coming through, but you can receive and sit for support as well. Not needing help or support doesn't make you stronger. And that's a wisdom that you have at work here. Last card, and we'll close it out. And we'll head on over to number 2. Remember who you are. I am telling you, you are, and it sounds like such a weird thing to say, like you are somebody. But does that imply that somebody else is a nobody? Unless they want to be nobody, is somebody, is everybody is a somebody, is a nobody. And that reflection pool is here of the water. There is a sensation here of hybridization. I want to say from the sea and the sky. So whether that is in those emotional realms, mental realms, astral realms, alien realms, angel realms, planetary concepts. There's so many words here. It's a big space. It's like a big school. I feel like someone has shown me this big old school and said, okay, and now choose one, or choose one word to describe. And I'm like, uh but then I'm thinking about it as I'm literally here in this moment going, but somebody's looked at planet Earth and said, now describe this. And they said, Earth. I'm like, where did Earth come from? And is Gaia the soul? Or it's just the query of the conversation. Anywho, please do remember who you are. And if for one moment, always be honest with yourself. If for no other reason than the most sacred connection is with you, within you, your psyche, and your psychic senses. That can be the most honest connection, you know? It begins with you. But if this message can also deliver to you the very essence of remember who you are, I feel like I've expressed it quite clearly. I hope this should serve, inspire, educate, or entertain. I am going to grab you a tarot card to close this out because we can. The moon. Sea and sky. Let's go, Alice. Let's go. All right. Thank you so much. I will see you at number 2 or number 3, depending on where you're going next. Thank you so much. And I will see you next Saturday. So much love. Número dos. You want to take it in, take a screenshot if you'd like to. You can scry in your own time. Personal use only. Drop an emoji, whatever feels good. I appreciate you like, sharing, and subscribing. The song Stand By Me. When you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you. Somebody's a bride. Congratulations. There could also be somebody in spirit that is past, fiance, marriage partner, wife, etc. They are very much so with you. They're right there. I just heard once a bride, always a bride. I do see that they're probably cremated. Quite happy about that. Oh, but they hold your hand. I don't know if you feel, and if this message isn't in regards to a partner, please know that there's a spirit guide, a spirit here holding your hand. I wanna hold your hand. Yes. You had a recent lifetime with this spirit guide where you were incarnate together. And for some, this could be like twin flames, I think is what the kids call it nowadays. Lovers, partners, you were close. This is a connection that is like City of Angels style. But one is in the spirit realm, one of you is here in the animated realm. I do not want the space of separation to be sorrowful. It's understood from the human condition that it is felt and is known. But here and now, I am holding your hand. Not in a let me hold your hand, walk you through this lifetime, but it's like we do walk together. So I want to have a compassion to say if you're feeling this space between you and spirit, home, a partner, a place, however you might relate. This message seems to be acknowledging this space, but not for it to feel sad. Again, I don't want that to sound non-sympathetic in regards to grief. When I say that space, it's more, see, I'm like starting to get stumbly now. It's from spirit guide to spirit guide. They are not in density form. You are. And there is this, it's like where the downloads come from. It comes from a trusted source that is the spirit that you know and have had a very close past life experience together. From somebody that in sympathies that you have lost a partner, friend, and this space is filled with sorrow. Please know that they are with you and they understand that because they were like literally just human, and they walk with you through the grief because they too, being connected to you, feel that. And they're not trying to make it go away, but to move through it. Love, love, love. With love, for love, of love. For you to walk upon the earth in as many steps that is in front of you, to do so with love. Find love, enjoy, and I will enjoy that with you. Yes. Okay, hopefully I said that decently. There is a God feel here. And however you relate into God, big G, little g, source, creator, overseer, greater operating device, greater observational deity, however, just God is here. And I heard lurch from the Addams family, because that's how I like to receive, to perceive, to receive. You rang. You rang. There's also whom I believe is like Thor, or Thor-like energy. I'm not overly proficient at, okay, mash Thor and Poseidon. Or maybe they're both stepping forward at the same time and they're like shaking hands. Would Thor and Poseidon shake hands on something? And what would that be? It's like combining power, agreeing upon something. Wowzers. That's what I have to say about that. Wowzers. Bow wow wow yippee yo yippee yay, bow wow yippee yo yippee yay. Something about spitting. Is it alpacas or llamas that spit? I'm seeing Christmas and Halloween. There it is. Christmas and Halloween. I think these might be, in their own regards, if I can step in, just wandering as Steph, highly charged spirit times, whether one's more veil and spooky and one's more of the spirit of saints, religious. Well, I suppose they both are in their own regards, depending on, anyway, it's not the point. But there's something about those two holidays. And interesting, as I'm speaking of those two, I'm actually seeing off to the side here Valentine's Day. Not St. Patrick's Day, not Family Day, not Independence Day or Canada Day or wherever you might be. Those three quite specifically. There's a guardian that's coming through. Do you know what this guardian looks like? Cousin It. Adam's family is coming through all sorts. Amazing. Okay, so thank you. It's somebody with long hair, like a hippie, or like, yeah, yeah, yeah. They have this vibe about them. Long hair, uh, male or female expressed. They're going to present to you the version that you're or the energy of that, the gender energy of that, that most balances you and them. Yeah. And it's a knowingness. It's like when you see somebody in a dream and they like look like one person, but you know do you know the soul? That's what this is. I feel all very accentuating with my words. So, oh, there's laughing over here. It's so fun. Cave of Ice, momentum. You know, I read art first, but you're welcome to take in the number, the word, or the artistry. 7, momentum. I actually am seeing momentary, momentary. You have moments. I swear, if you're here, you have moments where you can feel like spirit interacting with your skin, a sweep. Uh, you might get like a feeling in your tummy, like butterflies in the tummy. Something about a cuckoo clock. Hmm. Giraffes. These are very flexible giraffes. They are not, maybe giraffes are inherently flexible. I don't know. But I'm seeing these as flexible giraffes. I'm also seeing somebody with, I don't know, somebody's pet like eat something, you had to get x-rays and like you can see the thing in their belly now or something along that lines. It's very funny the way I'm seeing it. Okay. Okay. So if you've come from one polarity, card 4 in the cave of winds of the mind, that lily down there, it's the death. The death. Again, I'm not trying to ever be insensitive. For some in this case, there's a reason why the message I want to say from a spirit guide to spirit guide, even though you're incarnate and there's a reason why. You may not remember, you may not like it, you may not want to remember it. There's a reason why you are there and I am here, and we planned this because of a power and a momentum you could build for, let's say, existence in and of itself, or the benefits would be shared in the next lifetime you guys would be able to have together incarnate. Not saying it's here on earth, it could be anywhere, anytime. There is an understanding of why. And that's all I have to say about that. The Power of Love is the song I'm hearing in my head. The power of love. Dun, 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 dun. The power of love. And allowing that to build momentum as one moves through the different stages, ups and downs of grief, because I'm going to be with you through those. I love you to the moon and back. I view you from what we might call from a space that looks like you're looking up at the sky and I'm seeing the moon, but it's like spirits looking down, not down upon you. But that's how it's like we perceive it, even though I feel like it's like they're right here. But I'm very aware in this moment that as staff sitting here, when I say that we place it up, um, and that's perfectly fine. To be honest with you, I'm not making a claim on it, but as I'm saying it, I'm aware that they're like right here, though. Like, yeah. This message is also if it's something in relation to your, corporate, creative, personal, professional, romantic, platonic, and allowing yourself to go with the flow of to build momentum. Like maybe you don't need to build it or do anything. It's like you've built the contraption or the vehicle or the vessel. And like this hot air balloon, or I know it's not a hot air balloon, but and then the element, it gains its momentum, but you've put things in place to brake, turn, I don't know, however you might, but even a car. So you don't need to do anything to build momentum, but it's more like navigating it. And you've planned for the right things. It's like looking at a car and seeing that it's going to need to start, stop, steer, signal lights, rear view mirror. You've thought of these things, and it will also evolve. You just need to, almost like I want to say, be in the driver's seat and be very proud of that. And the way I'm seeing this, hopefully this affords some sort of sense somewhere along the lines. I'm seeing like to build momentum in the car, like we press the gas pedal. But there's really no more or less effort, whether we're pressing the gas pedal a lot or a little. It just, you're pressing the gas pedal and the momentum builds. And maybe there might be a little dash here of self-sabotage of when momentum is built by the organicness in the vehicle and the vessel that you are in whatever realm this is in. And it's like being on roller skates now or a car, and the landscape changes. Say, okay, now we're gonna like go downhill. It's like boom, and it's like put the brakes on, put the brakes on, put the brakes on. Yeah. All right. Cave of Hearth Fires. I think I have this whole deck upside down here. Receptivity. Chickadee. It's like the, Chicken Little, the sky is falling. I'm not saying the sky is falling at all. This is spring. Now Easter is coming into play. Easter can mean anything to you. Please land in it how you want. But this feels truly in my heart of hearts. New car, new chapter, rebirth, not resurrection, rebirth. I'm all very chill today, by the way. Leaning back in my chair, like low rider. I want to note for a moment, again, if this message is for one, thank you for holding space, that if somebody has passed due to very charged conditions, And without saying too many words, the movie What Dreams May Come. But I want to acknowledge it. Just, it's very charged. Tragic. But this born again feel is here. Please feel the sun, what the sun might represent to you. The moon is here as well. The heart is here, the beating hearts. Navigate is coming through in the Cave of Rivers of Feeling, because this is all about navigating fog. There's a lighthouse there. That's your spirit message. I am going to, excuse me, flip this. I feel stricken. Oh, I see you there, yeah. But this is what I know. It's kind of like I want to say building momentum towards. And it's okay to not feel it's okay to feel how you're going to feel in whatever way, shape, or form that this is expressing for you. I think what I'm trying to say in this moment, and I'm hesitating because there's very charged things here, and I don't want to be disrespectful or rude, but it's also my place to also navigate with you the varying things and the messages coming through. And always taking account for where you are and acknowledging that beyond anything that's being said by me or any other face that's talking or hands that are talking. But when you're starting to feel receptive to reality, to loving again, your inner childlike nature, whatever the case is, the more you suffer, the more it shows you really care. That's the I can't remember who sings that, but I do know, but I can't remember in this moment. Sometimes we think by suffering shows how much we care, how painful it is that we loved and lost. My point being is I'm not trying to take any of that away, or how invested. This spirit message in this case is it's okay to feel better. That doesn't mean you don't love me, or if the scent of my memory fades. It doesn't, you don't have to suffer to stay connected to my soul. But the journey through that is understood through the grief and the changing terrains of that, the times, feeling alone, or seeing something that may remind you of them, no matter if a million years has gone by. Timelessness, but also letting things fade, and know that doesn't mean you don't care or have forgotten, but it's the fog has cleared and more love to love life while existing has been sent to you by the very souls that also want that for you. And if that message in relation to grief or in any sort of form that it can be beneficial for you to hear that, And there's nothing frivolous about this message. There's nothing waiting for permission to just be, but there does feel like if you know that this message is for you, you can breathe. I can understand you're mad that the tragedy happened, that I left and you stayed, that I was taken. And it may never make sense in any sort of justification way. And you may never make peace with that. But I am with you, and I send you love to navigate feeling this so that you keep allowing this receptivity to breathe life into your life. Hopefully, I have said that well. I'm going to just wander over to this other little rabbit hole that's tickling me, and I'm going to acknowledge it. There's a candle that's also a paintbrush, well deep in here. And it is painting tears upon my face. I feel like a mime. So something silent. So this is just, I'm going to wander off to someone here who kind of has a sense of something. I'm not pressing it. Again, it's all very charged here, number 2. So I'm going to call it spiritual attacks or war. I don't know what it is. Programs. Anyway, this fog and navigating, because it's fogging up receptivity. And it's moving power to an alternative place. I'm aware this could sound conspiratorial, but bear with me here. It's just a construct of the varying realities that I think you're acutely aware of. Because you got a timeline thing here. It's like you're aware, or have not even just in the awareness or the ability in some way, shape, or form. Like there's checkers, there's chess, and then like in the Big Bang Theory, there's like 3D chess, 5D chess, 10D chess. And so you're aware of that and qualified or learning. So I'm going to grab a Cave of Earth while we're sitting here yakking about it, because there is oh yeah, see, Forge 5, change. You know something's changing in the timeline that you have chosen to incarnate on. Ancestors, it's for a reason. I'm going to say this here. I could be saying it in the way that's actually the opposite, but the way I just heard that very clearly, it's not about karma. But you're careful to not incur karma. And for some, you're like, I'm very aware of the karma that you're cleaning up on behalf of or have connected to regards to your ancestors' lineage. You know, pick all the words, plop them in there. That keeps your chain intact, your chain of events, because you know, trust that. But in the space that I'm leaning into, it's not about your karma. This is more of kind of like a global shadow of sorts. But it's just, it's only because of like all those different layers of like 10D chest, and they seem to cast certain shadows upon the boards around them, below them, however it might be configured, including to the base level. So there's no such thing as escaping such a concept. So that's why in this moment I'm like, oh, it's not actually conspiratorial. It's what is the potentiality because of your qualifications and possibly working in quantumy spaces. You're aware that there's frequencies being forged. I'm just going to say it, frequencies being forged. Maybe I shouldn't. That are creating fog, emotional static and fog to affect the receptivity of I, you, we, me as the example, but I don't actually feel like it's affecting you, your awareness of it. But let's say from a portion of the collective, whatever's being captured is being redirected and replaced. It is gaining momentum. I think this is why you're aware of it. This God that we saw earlier, it's like intuition being intercepted. So somebody could say, I heard the voice of God, but they didn't. They heard what somebody planted inside of the space. What, do you know what I'm saying? It's like the voice inside their head that's already been what we would maybe call the intuition or the inception point of where all the things. And it's kind of bringing me into, it's all very uncomfortable. And the fact that you are here and this message is for you, I kind of want to say like top notch to you, because this is like a different kind of a holding space that you have this ability to do. And there's a certain kind of like straight face you got to keep on. There's a lot of less reaction here, even though I feel like a lot of reaction is warranted. uh but you forge very mindfully, you cultivate and create mindfully. There's also with this forging very metal oriented mindscape because you're aware of, dare I say, the wastelands that are being created. Halloween, Christmas, and Easter. And maybe it's from this time that something from the whenever you receive this, the most recent Halloween, Christmas to Easter is has been fundamental for you or very revealing, because your receptivity seems to be top notch. Your connection to creation is intact. I can see it clearly. There's no infringement. But I can also see this collar behind that is, it's almost like you can feel it's trying to affect you. But you have forged certain abilities and also from your ancestors and your lineages. Two, moon bathe in hope. Take a look at the art, word, number. The number is 2. See that owl down there in the corner? Now this is a shady owl, not a wise owl. This is a spy owl. Uh, this is about timeline stuff versus karma, rather than, not versus, rather than. But again, if you're like, no, it's if you know, you know. I can only translate it how I'm sensing it. Who are you? Hmm. They've turned away from me. Card 5, share your bounty. There's another owl. Love it. This is, first I'm going to step into this through the space of the spirit partner, person, your twin, your spirit guide. They share with you their bounty of love. Love, to love again, to love life, to see the sun. Maybe somebody's son passed in a car accident, tragic. I feel like when I say that I'm talking to a mother or a sister specifically, it is a feminine figure. And they share with you their bounty of perspective from their point of view to help you. I don't want to say alleviate suffering, but kind of alleviate suffering. It's like feeling sad without sinking. When I wandered to the other story, we were talking about like when it got over here because it was being redirected, whatever this tomfoolery is that you're aware of. I think this is very much so why you stepped into this timeline. Share your bounty because it's going somewhere else. Like in this moment, even with polarity, this feels desolate, this feels bountiful. And that's where this receptivity is being diverted to. Now, personal, thank you. On a personal space, I feel like, again, your awareness is top notch. And if you've been feeling a sense, and maybe that's why that Five of Cups feeling was down there. Like, how do you even walk away from the wastelands? Maybe when you can see there's suffering, care, help is needed. But you can't get sucked into it because then if you're among it, you can't help it either. So, your awareness of your own personal power and connection to spirit, thank you, the sun and moon, is first of all is why you, I don't want to say can't be infected, but the effort to do that is like maybe 12 13D. I don't know what it is. It's just it doesn't seem to be here in the moment. That's not for lack of trying. You've probably felt that. So you still do your things. You still know, to check in with yourself for yourself and your connection to spirit for guidance specifically. But it's like viewing this haze and where it's being diverted to for the bounty to be for others, not for the actual sources of, but the sources are releasing it. It's all very interesting. But I want to know, for at least for yourself, please feel the bounty of beauty of spirit around you. All shapes and sizes, many lineages, timelines, because there's a lot of timeline stuff here going on. Seek the angel perspective. Spirit in the sky. In the cave of hearth fires with that receptivity. I'm telling you, the highest of the high. Maybe you might call them archangels, God, whatever these deities are. They're fantastic. For somebody specifically as well, Ozzy Osbourne means something to you, and Ozzy is coming through right now. And I kind of feel like, yeah, thank you. I think it's Crazy Train. If you really listen to the words, and maybe it's other music as well, but I'm not great at knowing and remembering those things. If you really listen to the words, very positive things are being said, very challenging things to the way maybe like when people speak of that change and how crazy things are, but to come together. And anyway, so if it's like under this guise of, it's like the Red Hot Chili Peppers as well, like I feel like they, if I recall, or at least this, they would say a lot of things in their music, but a lot of people wouldn't catch it. So it's also with that God feel. It's always here. Your faith is like unwavering, but not where faith can be so unwavering that it can be hijacked and manipulated. You know what I mean? You're smart. You're like super smart. Shed the tears. Number 9 coming through in the cave of rivers and navigating. It feels like navigating. Is that muddy waters that I was just heard through? Garden 28, garden the heart. This is what's being forged. This is what's being freed within the self. On the bottom, transform your thoughts. And maybe we need a story or a villain. I don't know. A concept or a construct to deconstruct, work against, work for. When it says shed the tears, and I'm back to that candle that was also a paintbrush, and we were crying, some sort of imprisonment. And then 28, garden heart. That was a weird silence. Sorry, not sorry. I feel like 28's pretty significant here. Congratulations if you're getting a new home and forging a new place, a new dwelling, a new start, a rebirthing. A rebuilding of life the way you would like to step into it, even though things have changed. Things are different now. But you start. And it feels like a really big breath there. A really big breath. It's work and you're aware of it. It's all very mind. But it's mind and heart. And we're always together. Like even in the way that these two are in this card, it's always interconnected here. The Garden of Eden is like the garden of heart. Final card, and then I'm going to move on. I hope this would serve, inspire, educate, or entertain, is 4 of Wands. Maybe going glamping, camping. There's also, again, more dwellings here. Congratulations. I feel like there's a lot to celebrate. And you might also just like the holidays to celebrate. They remind you, they refresh you. Maybe you like to host things or create gatherings, whatever the case is. And before I let you go, sorry, there's a man in spirit. He has short hair. He feels like middle-aged. He's thinner. And he has, like I said, short hair. I feel like he's like thinner in the face. Kind of like a Mr. Rogers kind of feel or look, like body type to him. Again, like shorter hair, almost like military hair, but not quite as like buzz cutty. Anyway, you get the gist. And he helped something move away, something of lack, something of left out, and that was attached to that and has helped move it away. And then he's giving me like fist bumps. So, all right. I will leave that there. Thank you so much. I will see you next Saturday for our weekly pick a card. I hope you're doing well. And if you want any other content, you can check out my House of Scrying channel in the meantime for some scratch stories. And yeah, thank you for being you. I will see you at 1 or 3, depending on your choice, or next Saturday. So much love. I just heard it. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. All right, if you want to take it in, screenshot if you want to scry on your own time, personal use only, drop an emoji, whatever feels good. Okay, something about bones. Cookie Monster. I've got eyes for you. A 3D printer? Or some sort of, maybe it's a 3D printer or some sort of program that lets you see things. Like if you're building a model in 2D and then you hit 3D and then it went whoop. That's how I'm seeing that. It's very, very interesting. Oh, you're a very good listener. So I'm seeing the owl from Labyrinth, the white owl. So there might be something about a white owl that means something to you. There's actually something that comes out of the owls. You have a lot of owls. Now, owls have been a little bit of a theme through this pick a card reading, which is interesting, but yours are different. It's like Queen of the Owls or King of the Owls. I'm going to keep going and see if anything else comes through to help clear that up. Talons and claws. You either hide nothing or hide a lot. One of the two. Yeah, it's almost like that. I'm not saying it's like polarity or paradoxy. It's apparent here. I hide nothing. Like, what would be the point? Or I hide a lot. Under I'm hiding nothing. Okay, so I'm just going to travel. I'm not defining that for IU and me, but just as the exploratory twinkle, twinkle, little star. Okay, so it's something about the hidden in general. Like in this, it's almost like holistic hiding and what is said or not said. But this doesn't feel like spy work. This feels like the message from Spirit is it feels like I'm being supported to wander through hidden for things that hurt my feelings, for things that hurt my heart, for things that hurt my head. Does that make sense? It does. So this is why I feel like a lot of things are being said and not said, because sometimes it's felt. It's my feelings, your feelings. It is headaches. It's mind thoughts. And I feel like you're either very adept and or adventurous to look at that, to look at those things that may be less illuminated and obvious, but it does seem to have something about hurt in it. How it hurts, where it hurts, what it hurts, I can't speak to, because it goes in all directions depending on maybe the context, right? Personal, professional, corporate, creative, romantic, platonic. Something about taps, hot and cold. And I'm seeing I think it's Hulk Hogan. Whoa. Something like that. And then I'm also hearing, I don't know who said that, I pity the fool. I pity the fool. So I feel like I'm looking at wrestlers. Hulk Hogan, what was his saying? Do you remember Hulk Hogan saying? Hulk. I'm like saying hulkified, but I know that's not his saying. Maybe pity the fool is, I don't know. And I don't want to say that I'm necessarily wrestling with everything. And I'm not saying that you are. I'm just here to explore. But again, a really skilled wrestler can, take down some things. Uh, Grapple. This is kind of the space where like science and philosophers, for me, reside. People who just have that inherent ability to ponder, I guess. And maybe it's about building a personal philosophy. Hmm. Cave of Ice, please. Medicine. Okay. Medicine. Your spirit message is about medicine. Making medicine, deciding what is medicine. There seems to be something here about twos. Also, the number 9. If the number 9 from a life path or destiny number or numerology number means anything to you, I say follow that. And if you'd also check in with the House of Scrying, link is in the description box. We are going through over the course of however long it takes the life path numbers or numerology numbers. So we will get to 9 at some point. But that stood out as well. Teal and pink feathers. No, it's not teal. This is specifically turquoise. See, there's hidden symbols. This is something either there's a hiding and about the hidden. So in this card, and I just, right, there's the symbols in there. Like maybe it's a rune as well. And I'm sure it means something else. I can barely remember the fact that I'm trying to say the word. I'm thinking of lava lamp, but it's really like one of those sand timers. 2 triangles, of course. Infinity, that is triangle versus circular. So to me, that is about also power. When I see triangles, it's about directing power, where the curves is more I don't want to say harnessing or holding, but like containing, or the flow of it just has a different feel to it. I don't want to define it for anyone else, but I understand that they're amongst the circle here, and I can see that. It's the tap things of hot and cold, and the yin and the yin and yang of the balance of all that is, and however you interact with this message. Okay. So if you've ever played a video game where up in the corner they're showing a map, just like with the little dot of maybe kind of where you are as you're like in this point of view, like only looking at this part, but up in the corner they're showing the whole map and where your little car is on the racetrack, right? So you can see the whole racetrack, but it's smaller. And here you see what's most directly rendering in front of you. So that's in there. And the yin and the yang are at reflectively different but similar points. And I'm seeing them sync up. And then the taps from hot and cold turn that are also turning into, now as I'm seeing it, the Cookie Monster eyes. Cookies, cookies. But also turning into the Ark of the Covenant symbols, which brought me into the power, and tempering it into one's, it feels like one's own Ark of the Covenant. Is that the right? Where me, in this, I control the taps of that substance of power. Yeah, that's exactly how it feels. And it all makes sense. It's like sometimes you want ice therapy, sometimes you want heat therapy. It's like a temperature thing. Ice for 10 minutes, warm for 10 minutes, whatever the case is. Threshold coming into the cave of winds, 12, number 12 calendar year. It could be in 1 year from now. Interesting. It's also the threshold of those tops of the two different temperatures of, I heard here and now. It's almost like here and now, somehow in the here and now with you, here and now are not the same place or time. I don't know. I'm back to the Cookie Monster, and I'm leaving cookies out for Santa. Now, number 2, I believe, talked about Halloween, Christmas, and Valentine's Day as focuses for one reason or another. And now I feel like I'm back at Christmas. I'm leaving cookies out for Santa Claus, who is the Cookie Monster. So, but in the spirit of that, it's like I'm leaving things as offerings to hungry eyes, because it comes out of the hiding, it comes out of the hidden. It's like to find something hidden. I don't want to say like you're leaving a trap, but it's a tactic. It's a tactic. I'm leaving something out so the mice will come and get the cheese, and then I'll know where maybe there is a mouse. Did somebody, and hopefully not me in this moment, but I feel like at some point in time, somebody may, or something, or a situation has made you feel crazy. And it's like, so you almost got to like follow. Is that, did I feel hurt? Is that what that feeling is? When somebody, or maybe something else has made me feel crazy and I feel hurt. I feel my feelings are hurt. Or maybe I feel not hurt. I don't know what it is. It's something in and along this. Those 2 owls are coming back towards me. Somebody or something made me feel away. I feel like in this moment, if you're here. And so you had to leave or cross into a realm that, while one might call spiritually guided, I still want to acknowledge it sucked and it hurt. And yes, maybe to where you are now or heading towards, it was all very healing and medicine. But I'm also going to say, in some way, shape, or form, maybe you got a dose of your own medicine and didn't like that. And so you doubled down on something because it hurt your ego, or what is that saying? Bruise the ego. And so where I'm at now, though, okay, oh my God, this is fascinating. And of course, I never know if it's within you or within somebody else or something you're going through. So receive or release freely and only place it where it fits, unless you're just here to be, you're like here for it. So now I feel like as I'm coming in towards the cave of hearth fires, yeah, there's like this spirit coming through. It's almost like two, I'm going to say glowing eyes, because I feel like they change color depending on what hidden knowingness you have about where they're from. So it's like if they're the red eyes, that tells you something. If they're the green eyes, that tells you something. If they're the yellow eyes, they tell you something. And they're like glowing. Again, this is in the hidden realms of things. So this is not on the surface. That's not to say that it doesn't reveal itself in the surface, but I also feel like you inherently are connected to it. Like you are a part of this hidden realm. I I don't want to be hurt again. That's how I hear that. Okay, I'm gonna flip it. Let's see. Let's keep going. Discernment in the Cave of Hearth Fires with the harp, card 25. Also, if I may, just because I brought up and it came through from the number 2 is speaking about Santa and Christmas, and 25 obviously being Christmas Day. When people say read the room, I feel like I'm reading a realm. But I don't even know that there's shields here, and they have pit bull dogs. At least that's the emblem on them. They also have valves. Valves. It's like getting intestinal blockages released. I have no idea where I'm at. I feel like I am moving blind here. And the best I could say is that your message thus far seems to be about medicine, but it's medicine made for you, and how you go about making, I suppose, what's a potion and what's a poison. And I feel like there's a decision that you know how to discern. I guess maybe your intention, and also what's given to you. Is it helpful or is it hurtful? Is it a potion or is it poison? Or is the potion poison? Is the poison, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. But it's great words, right? And you have like a team that you can check in with to double discern, double distilled. Because you've doubled down before And I think you've learned a lesson. You've learned the lesson. That's amazing. You, Amy, in this moment have learned the lesson. I'm hearing the song. Hark now, hear the angels sing, glory to the newborn king. I was also seeing a lion up there, so there might be something about a lion or a lion king, whatever that might land in for you as well. Your heart is very discerning still. Guardian. And there's that owl, the white owl. Now, card number 6 in the Cave of Rivers, a feeling. If you notice from these two cards, from the threshold over here in the Cave of Winds of the Mind, through the door, is all this coloring, and it's here that it's okay. Your spirit guide message is also very clearly saying, I'm watching you. Oh, gosh. And you have strict. It's like having a strict mother, father, grandparent, teacher, and they're, it's not about non-negotiable. But it's kind of not negotiable. It's very interesting. They're very proud of you for what you've accomplished. This guardian that you have here that also guards your emotional, that those pipes, that valves, because that flows through you. Um, Something about fairy tales. Yeah. Cave of Earth Fires. Okay. Visionary, card 22. Oh, that's why the Guardian is watching you so sternly. What are you going to do with the hurts that have been healed and the lessons that have been learned? Ooh. Do you know, like, when something happens, osmosis? You know, like when something happens in a movie, or it's like you're watching a show and something happens, like, oh my goodness. And then it's like, till next time, or we'll see you next week. And it's like, how am I going to wait a week or till the next episode? This is what this is like. There's an interesting coalescence of being very, very careful the way I move here, the way I speak here. It is all very discerning. Now, whether that's your heart, romance, personal, platonic, corporate, creative, romantic, all the things, all the channels. But this is into, there's a headless horseman here. I'm also seeing somebody sit like this. There's edge here. There's edginess. You know, like when a new kind of rock star comes out. But here's the thing. It's all hidden. And I'm a little bit confused why it's so hidden. But I also kind of get it. Because it's like if you say anything, I feel like there's a consequence that I am not aware of, but you are. And there's, is it sanctity? I don't know. There's something about it that feels, you know, like when someone's looking at you and you just get the vibe, like, I feel like someone's staring at me. And you look around. It's just, I feel like you're being looked at. You're being viewed in this medicinal way. That's how I want to say that. And there's something about harmonies that hypnotize. And I think that you're familiar with hidden hypnotisms, and you might be able to help others unhypnotize themselves. And there is, thank you, a code of conduct. That's why this is so strict. It's unhypnotizing. Which takes the hidden off. Does this make sense? I mean, I don't have a few more cards, find out. And that's why this visionary in the cave of earth and the threshold in the mind, you can actually like go in. This is great responsibility because it's like you can go into somebody else's mind and unhypnotize them from things that may be holding them, hidden things that are holding them back or hurting them without them even knowing, because we are wonderful creatures of adapting. And so you are a traveler of the hidden realms, and they cannot be revealed here because of the helping medicine of unhypnotizing. I feel like I'm going to keep saying that word because I can't believe it's even a thing that came out of my mouth. And yet, maybe that's what you would come against if you were even to say it. But what, you don't even need to say it. I can see it's like being in the movie Inception, but not doing so for self gain. It's to help people. be unincept. And here's the thing, it's like if they're already incepted upon, it's like, well, you have to give me permission to go in and incept upon you, to go un it's not on behalf of. Here's the curious thing, it's not like I do, you don't do. It's helping that space. This feels like a surgeon. It's just a specific skill set, and it's important because you've learned this over probably what I could say feels, at least to me, and I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I also love being dramatic, a lot of learning. That's not for the faint of heart, and that's not to say anyone else. It's like, uh, what is that called when people do, not trauma bond, but like they, maybe, I don't know. It You can see. It's almost like too when you go into these hidden realms, and I'm only saying hidden because they're in people's. I don't even know whether it's in their body, their minds, their heart, like psh, and you can then see where it's being guarded by a very certain kind of signature that tells you this part of them is hurting or hypnotized. Okay. I swear I pulled a card, did I not? Ooh. Craft your focus. I'm telling you, it's like you can see. I know you can see. But even in the coloring of that, you can see the turquoise. Maybe you're wearing turquoise as well. 13, that is my integration number. You're also, I feel like the number 9 is kind of it's kind of like this teacher guardian things in the lessons. They've been harsh. I'm sensing them as harsh, hurtful. I felt, like I said, I started when I started this, I felt hurt. I'm like, my feelings are hurt. I can be Hercules or Hulk Hogan, whatever. My feelings can still get hurt. But nonetheless, and I don't want to like say in like to make a martyr out of that, and take it however you will, but you have been able to you, it's like use it for good. You've been able to transcend it to good, and you have strict teachers, and you have demanding discernment, where you're the choices of this landscape of the spirit message, wave, you know the destruction that can be caused when someone is feeling hurt, ridiculed, uh insert anything there, hypnotized to believe, ghastly, all the words. The destruction, the demise, and that's why those that are kind of called into this for a time, because I don't feel like this is, maybe it's either a lifelong thing that evolves, or it's something that happens for a time that uh, induces a resolve. Yes. You also might see things like running around the floor of your house. Transform your thoughts, coming in with the threshold and the cave of winds. And this is in this mind as well. That mane, the Lion King, the mane of the mind. So this is kind of what I feel like you do. You wander into the minds with permission, I would like to believe. I would like to hope, given what you've been through, I dare say you would never, or if given the consequences that I feel that are up, like the strict teachings of sorts, it would not be worth it to not honor your heralding. So when I'm telling you, with the threshold and transform your thoughts, which is in number 6, 12, you've doubled down on things, but you also are like double healer because you unhypnotize that part and you help transform the thoughts of that organ, that spiritual space, whatever this kind of psychic surgery it is. You might also help locate. It's like being a psychic surgeon of sorts or a healer of sorts. But like on your spare time, you are an investigator of like maybe like true crime stuff. I don't know. It's okay. Cave of Hearth Fires. I can see you sitting there. Yes, I can see you sitting there. This headless horseman thing is I don't know. They feel like they're just around. 18, seek the angel perspective with discernment. And it's so lovely that there's also a harp in there, because I wonder sometimes if you feel disconnected or have felt disconnected from said angelic realm concepts, constructs. Because of, okay, so this is what I'm going to say to that. Oh, thank you. You decided to take a path of destruction. But the most beautiful divine thing about this is, and again, I'm coming back to the hurts that I felt, but you built the ability to destroy viruses, infections. It's like if you're a scientist or you're in, again, helping kids, whatever. So, but when you started this lifetime, 400 lifetimes ago, or 20 minutes ago, the path that starts with destruction to create the conduit for this healing to happen, you knew. there's there's just no excuse. These spirits here are going to say you knew, and you know because you also know the benefits, and those benefits don't come from anywhere else. And so it's kind of like this interesting hidden healer, but you need a buttload of permission and like legalese. Like if somebody was a private investigator, you would be making it very clear, okay, I'm going to go into your realms, your thresholds, your energies, the whatever. We're going to make it very clear. You're going to be signing a waiver so that everyone's on the same page. Like, this is what it's like, because you are a part of, even though you might be in a certain field right now, incarnately, but as you're incarnate, you are part of some guardian group. Yep. So you were never cast out if you ever felt that way from an angelic realm or geometry realm, this, that, or the other. What I feel like that is in the heart of hearts, in kindnesses, maybe even humane kindnesses of humanity. And having humble roots and a humble heart seems very important here, given where you go and what you can or choose to do. Yeah. So very, very proud. Very, very, very proud. I feel like I also through this, I'm not gonna lie, like to some degree, I was like treacherous, but I understand. I may not be able to say it well, but I'm very proud. I don't want to stroke or feed the ego. I feel like as I'm stepping into this guardian here in the Cave of Rivers, card 33, turn your back. It's just it's not what it's about. Now you know me, I don't poo-poo ego, a healthy emotional ego. This is what this is. It's an emotional ego. And you know these other guards and guardians have your back for this, dare I say, mission, something along that lines. 25, kick up your heels. Is that what it said, or did I make that up? Kick up your heels. Look how natural this is. Fae, maybe you have a connection with the Fae. Brave the journey is on the bottom. You've been braving this journey. Like I feel like I've had to brave through it just by feeling it through you. If you're still here. This is like nightshade that is healing. And not all helpers work in the light. Not all healers deal with sunshine and roses. Not poo-pooing them. But there is a partnership to the holistic nature. And you just might be a shadow type healer. I don't even think shadow is the right word, to be honest with you, because it's not even in the shadows. It's like where the shadows come from. And you have dug your heels in. You take a look at what it's like, choosing what jobs are good for you, or, are good for you. I'm also seeing, I just got to acknowledge, like a SWAT team they'll go in for a specialty. Like they'll go into really obscure places as a team. And here's the thing, a lot of the times nobody ever knows who those people are. They can not get accolades because they are exposed. And that threatens their very acts of service and their skill set. So this is why this is all very hidden. It's almost like exposure to some degree. Yeah, I'm not going to say any more about it. If this has made any sense to you, and I know, but I'm going to let you go, because this is, actually, I'll grab you a tarot card before we close this out. That's all that needs to be said. And maybe some reassurance, a hug, a high five, Knight of Swords coming through. You get to work. You go where you need to go. You get her done. You've been getting her done. And now it's almost like for any sort of sufferings or tests or however we might want to apply this, you are now the one that goes in and helps others. You hear the call and you go, like a CB radio. All right, 10 of Cups is on the bottom. I'm going to let you go. I hope this is serve, inspire, educate, or entertain. I will see you next Saturday. You can check out the House of Scrying if you would like content in between. Otherwise, thank you so much. Bye.